readers, and welcome to another episode of Prepcast, where we turn headlines into conversations. I'm your host, Tommy Thornton, and today I'm here joined by
Otto Hellmund,
Kate Caballero,
and Arana. Today we're going to be giving you guys a high school survival guide. But last time we talked about high school issues. We talked about balancing school and personal life. But in this episode, we are taking survival a bit more literally.
a bit more seriously too. I read an article on CNN that stated 76 school shootings this year have already happened in the U.S., and I'm not going to lie, that gives us a sense of uneasiness and fear in day-to-day lives.
And you know, Otto, you touched on that, and it's not even the second semester yet. And as safe as our school might be, the chance of this happening is never 0%.
Well, today we were lucky enough to welcome Melissa Falkowski, newspaper advisor and career technical education teacher at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, to share her experience after the 2018 Parkland shooting. We asked her how she felt safety had been impacted after the shooting and what safety measures have been implemented since.
Let's take a listen on what she had to say.
I don't feel any more or less safe than when it happened, to be honest. I think it's a societal problem. I think there are things that you can do at the school level that add a layer of safety, but I don't think that there are enough measures that you can put in place at a school that prevents without making it like a military base. I don't see how it's a soft target, and it's easy. If somebody wants to do harm, then they will, and that's a societal problem to me. It's about the level of access to guns that people have. It's about a lack of mental health services in our country, and until we address those sort of systemic issues, like the school safety measures are a Band-Aid on a societal problem that we refuse to address. I mean, I would recommend that students pay attention to their surroundings at all times, that they have an exit strategy, that they know, in a situation, you have to decide if something starts to happen, whether you're gonna run, whether you have to fight somebody, or whether you have to hide, and you have to think through all those scenarios, right? Like, something happens when I'm out in the hallway because I'm going to the bathroom. What am I going to do? If I'm in each of my classrooms, what am I going to do? And unfortunately, that is a reality that exists for students. It's unfortunate. It's not something that they should have to think about when they go to school. But my advice is to know and think through what you would do, so that if you're ever in that situation, that you can act for yourself, for your own personal safety.
Yeah, no, it's definitely important to have a plan if you ever are put in that situation, God forbid, but thankfully we've never been part of that. I know Maddie and Tommy experienced something like kind of along those lines. You guys want to share?
Yeah, when the shooting happened, I was actually in my old school, which had little to no security, which ultimately caused me and my classmates to live in a fear of this happening to us, since it happened so close to home. Also, seeing it on TV made me realize it was real and this could happen, which was something that I wasn't fully made aware of before. But now that I come to Gulliver and there's better security and drills, I realize that although we are more safe, the fear still lives in the back of my mind.
Yeah, and I have a similar story. So I used to live in Key Biscayne. It's kind of this island right next to Miami, and I would say around 4 to 5 years ago, we had this, bombing incident. It was a fake bombing, but we were in lockdown. All the schools in the island were in lockdown for 3 hours.
Yeah, I had it too.
We had no idea what was happening. We were scared. Our parents were scared. It was just a situation that really to this day impacted me, and that's still to the back of my mind. Yeah,
just like a scary experience.
Yeah. I mean, definitely one factor we can take into account is specifically with security. So now we're going to take a moment to listen to how the security team at our school ensures our safety.
We try to be present at all times, whether we're having events, whether it's just a regular day at school. We just try to maintain a strong presence, and we have our law enforcement that work alongside us too, with the Florida Highway Patrol. So that makes it that much easier for us to maintain a safe environment for the school.
I definitely like that we're talking about this now and bringing awareness to this topic, because I feel like whenever someone talks about high school and like a survival guide to high school, you would be talking about like fitting into cliques, mental health, workload, but there's a total other reality, especially here in America, and school shootings are a really big problem, and they only keep getting worse.
Well, that wraps up today's discussion. It's important to remember that while we often talk about the pressures of high school, there's a reality that we can't ignore: safety. It's something that affects us all, whether we realize it or not.
As always, we're here to turn headlines into conversations and make sure we're having the discussions that matter.
Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll catch you next time.